Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial. And you're looking at all these tools and thinking, what is she up to today? So today I'm going to teach you how to make your own sketchbook for watercolor. And I made this specifically because every watercolor sketchbook there has a lower grade of watercolor, or it's not the one you like and you want to make your own, so you can use your own paper, your favorite paper, Archer's, this is a Canson paper, any paper you like, and make your own. So I want to teach you that, and we're going to start with the tools you need. So you're going to need, of course, your water paper. This one is an 18 times 24. And then you're gonna need some fabric or some nice paper that you want to use for your cover. I'm gonna use some trim of a fabric I have, and then you're gonna need a ruler, of course, to measure your sketchbook, and then you're gonna need an X-Acto knife, or you can also use one of these tools that you basically just open and it has a blade and then you cut through. Of course, the X-Acto knife is much more affordable, and it's more likely you have one of these than the other tool. You will also need a needle. Try to get a bigger needle, and you will also need a hole puncher to make the little holes in your paper. I'm gonna show you how to do that. And you're gonna need some glue. I mean, this is an overkill, you don't need this glue, but it's the only one I have around. But you can use a glue that is less strong. You can use hot glue as well. And you're gonna need a tool to flatten your paper, and you will also need thread, and I like to use this embroidery thread. You get 8.7 yards in each one of these bundles, and that should be enough for a little sketchbook. And the good thing about this is you can choose different colors, and it's just like $1 for each one of these, or depends where you buy it. Like Walmart, it's like $1, and then if you go to Michael's or other craft stores, it might be almost $2. And you can choose your color. I'm gonna use gray for mine so you guys can see it. And you will also need cardboard to make your cover for your book. I'm gonna show you how to do that, but first I'm gonna get to cutting it, and then once everything is cut and measured, then I'll come back and tell you how to make it. Okay guys, really quick, at this point I cut my paper. It's 24 times 18, so I cut strips of 4 inches each. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips of 4 inches, and now I'm gonna cut each strip. I'm gonna leave one. I'm gonna take one, and you'll find out later why. And then these other ones, I'm gonna cut them in half in 9 inches. Okay guys, so now I cut my papers in half. So now I have 9 times 4, and I have 10 pieces of those. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take them like this and fold them in half. And that's where this tool comes in handy, because then you just touch both ends, and then you go with this and flatten this side out. And you're gonna do that with all of these. You have them all cut. You're gonna get them grouped in groups of 3. You're gonna have one group of 3, and one group of 3, and then another group of 4. Now these groups like this are called signatures, and they're usually 4 pieces of paper. But since I didn't want it to waste the paper of a whole sheet, and the paper is much thicker than a regular piece of paper, then I decided to do it in 3s, and then I have one of 4. But then you're wondering what you're gonna do with this long one. So what I'm gonna do with the long one is I'm gonna add it to this one. but this is gonna be a panoramic one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure these to be 4.5 inches, just like the ones we folded, and then in the 4.5 inches is where I'm gonna fold this one. Using my tool, I'm gonna make it flat. And then I'm gonna add this one to the last signature. So in this one you have 4, then you have one of 3 and another one of 4. And then you're gonna go ahead and take all of this out again. And you're gonna bend your paper so it folds in. So you're gonna make one fold this way and flatten it. And then you're gonna reverse it and make sure it lands on the fold or within the fold. Just align it with the corner here and then flatten. Okay, so you're gonna put it, open it, and then you're gonna put it, be the last page on your signature. So you're gonna put it in, and this is gonna fold like this inside and close. And now this is gonna be your last signature. So you're gonna put it first, then you're gonna put the 4 pieces, and then you're gonna put your 3 pieces. This is gonna be your notebook. So you're gonna have a notebook that is 4 inches times 4.5. So the next step, now that you have them all folded and lined up, you're gonna place it here in your mat or over a ruler too. You can, if you don't have a mat. And then you're gonna take a pencil or a color pencil, and you're gonna take your ruler and line it with 1 inch. And then you're gonna make a little line there. And then you're gonna do it for the next inch mark, and again for the next inch mark. There you go. So now you're gonna have these little marks here. And what you're gonna do now is you're gonna open them up and make sure they still line up. And you're gonna take your hole puncher tool, make sure they're very lined up, and you're gonna go ahead and make the hole through. And make sure it goes all the way through to the last page. And you're gonna do that with all of them. So now that you have them all with holes, and the holes are going all the way through to the middle of to the last page, now we're gonna go ahead and take your cardboard, and you're gonna cut the covers for it. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure your pages, and then it's gonna be 4.5 times 2. Now you can make these notebooks any size you want. It doesn't have to be 4 times 2. Just follow the same steps and then cut the paper the size you want it to be. And the holes should be every inch. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut this. So now I have my covers. They fit my notebook. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my fabric and I'm gonna measure this 1/2 inch out. So it will be 1/2 inch out of the edge of my cover. So I'm gonna make the line so I can cut it that size. This doesn't have to be fabric. Like I said, you can use any kind of nice paper, wrapping paper if you want, or just construction paper, or just a nice cardstock paper. any paper you want, or even if you have an old shirt that you really like and you don't want to get rid of it, but it has holes in the arms and somewhere, and you don't want to get rid of it, just cut a piece and make yourself a notebook, and then you can have your favorite teacher still with you. Okay, so now that I measured this, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the fabric, and I'm gonna make 2 of these, and then I'm gonna show you how to put it in here. Now that I have my 2 pieces of fabric or paper for my covers, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some glue on the cardboard. If you're gonna use fabric, I know I said you don't have to use this glue, but it would be better for fabric to use this glue. This is a really strong glue and it works great on fabric. And then once you have the glue on it, all over it, you're gonna put it in the middle. Make sure you have the 1/2 inch out. And let it dry and do your other one. Okay, once I have this done and it's glue and dry, then I'm gonna go ahead and trim the corners straight like this. Okay, so now you're gonna put glue in the corners like this. And you're gonna take your tool and make it flat. Make sure it's flat and nice. And then you're gonna do it all around. So now we're gonna take our cover and we're gonna go ahead and measure from the edge 1/2 inch, and then align your ruler so you can measure every inch, make a little dot there. And what you're gonna do with that is you're going to take your hole puncher and make holes there and make sure it goes all the way through. And then you're gonna do it with the other one as well. Guys, once you have both of them with the holes, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your signatures. Make sure the one that has the panoramic one is the last one. So you're gonna put that one first and make sure the panoramic is the last one. Then you're gonna put your next signature and your third one. Now you're gonna put this down, the ones on the top, and you're gonna focus on the one with the panoramic one. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your thread, and in the middle of that signature, from the inside, you're gonna go out of it. You're gonna sew through it. And then you make sure the knot is straight right there. So now you're gonna take the back one. If you did different, the front from the back, you're gonna take the back one and you're gonna go through the first hole from the inside out. So now you did that. Pull it through. Make sure the paper is aligning here, so it's gonna be like, there's gonna be like a space there. As you can see, there's gonna be a space there, and then you align your paper with your back. Okay? So now that you're through from the back, you're gonna go back into that hole to the inside. And make sure it's nice and tight, and there's no knots, there's no Make sure it's nice and tight. Now from there you're gonna go to the second hole. Through it. And make sure it's nice and tight again. Okay. Now you're gonna go to the inside of your cover and go in that second hole, and again you're gonna go out. Make sure the paper is aligned, and then you're gonna go back on that hole. Okay, now you're gonna go to the third hole, out, and then again go in your cover, inside of it, and go in the last hole now and pull it through. Make sure everything is aligned, make sure nothing is hooked anywhere. Okay, once you have that done, you make sure everything is tight. The inside should look like this. Okay guys, I changed the angle of the camera so we can see better. So now that we're out on this side, we're gonna loop the thread under that piece of thread that is in between the cover and the signature. You're gonna loop it through, make sure it's tight, and then you're gonna take your second signature and you're gonna go through the first hole from the outside to the inside of it. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then you're gonna go to the second hole and pull it through. Once you're outside, you're gonna do the same thing you did with this one. You're gonna loop it through. And it's gonna be a little hard at this point, so open it up, go from the right side, and from the inside go to the left side. Make sure you don't get the fabric or the paper. Oh. And once you loop it, then you go back into that same hole of the second signature. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then you're gonna go to the third. Oh. You're gonna go to the third hole and do the same thing. You're gonna loop it, but instead of going back into that hole, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your third signature and get it through that first hole from the outside to the inside. And you're gonna repeat these. If you wanna make more signatures, then you're gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna keep repeating the same process. So you go from the outside to the inside, and then you go back to the middle hole, and then make sure there's no knots. Go to the outside and loop it in the middle one, in the center one. If it's too hard, remember, just open it up and just loop it through from the right to the left. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then you go back into that same hole from the outside to the inside. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then you're gonna go to the last hole and loop it through. Now once you're right there and you're done with your signatures, you're gonna add your other cover. And you're gonna do, what you're gonna do is you're on the outside of your last signature and you're gonna go to the inside of your cover and you're gonna go back into that hole of the last signature, go back into the same one and pull it through. And then once you have it like that, you're gonna go to the second hole from the inside to the outside. And you're gonna go to the second hole of your cover from the inside to the outside. And go back into the middle hole of your last signature. Okay, and then go to the last hole of your last signature and repeat the same process again. Go from the inside of your cover to the outside. And then back into that last hole of your last signature. Oh, that wasn't it. Okay. And then once you're here, you're done. So you're gonna go under this last stitch and make a little knot. Make sure your knot is nice and tight. And then you're gonna just cut that piece right there. And now you're done with your threading of your notebook. This is the back of it. Okay, this is the front. And then you're done with your threading. This is how it's gonna look. And as you can see, you can put it flat and make your drawings there and all of that. Just cut this up a little bit. But then you're wondering, no, this looks kind of ugly. So what you're gonna do is, now you're gonna take your glue again. Put it on this side of the page. Of the cover, I mean. And you're gonna take your last page, align it with it, and glue it together. And then you're gonna do the same thing with your last one, which should be your panoramic one. And you're gonna go ahead and glue it. And align that last page with it. And there you go, guys, there's your notebook. Okay guys, here's the end result. It's already dry. I went ahead and did some doodles on it with my Sharpies and on the back too, and it's all dried out. So here's how the front page looks, and you can start drawing there. And then here's how the bag, that panoramic bag looks, and I think that's really cool. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys can make it and make your own, make it big, make it small, make it smaller, and you know, make more panoramics. You can make as many as you want, maybe one on each signature if you want. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.